Welcome, dear audience, to This Week in Clown World, the video series dedicated to reliving the events of the simulation because yes, it really happened and no, we weren't dreaming. Oh lordy lordy, what a fantastic week, and by that I mean South Park was right this entire time and the UK are now doing a Simpsons. My god, I never thought I would see so much clown in a week, but here we are. It's grown adults doing stupid things week in and week out, and somehow unknown to anybody it just gets worse. What a time to be alive! But I have a question for you, audience. What do you get when you cross a soy-faced leader of a country who somehow won a stonky majority of only 34% of the overall vote, and a multi-millionaire donor by the name of Lord Ali? Well, you get the greatest gay romance ever romanced in the history of gay romancing. Yes, the internet have cometh with the news that our leader may not only be a secret commie, but he's also got really small brain and is a secret sausage smuggler. Because according to X, Starmer is a homosexual. My god, who would have thought it? And I believe everything I see on the internet without question, so it is 100% true. Although, to be fair, it kind of does make sense that he's a rager, considering Stalin is never seen with his wife, his entire family hates him, and Taylor Swift concerts are mentioned too many times. Hell, why was Loverboy Lord Ali given an all-access pass to Downing Street when all he is a donor? And he even let Keir Stalin use his penthouse during the lockdowns. Because what better way to spend a mild viral outbreak that resulted in authoritarian measures than chancing AIDS with a gay bloke from Croydon? Yeah, no matter how funny this she-height is, and how widespread it has become, come on guys, it just ain't true. The video looks faker than Joe Biden in an Easter family photo. But my god, doesn't it make sense? He will be, by 2029, the first gay communist leader of the Soviet kingdom. Right, and also talking of that soy-faced Stalin, oh boy, you'll never believe what happens next. After the incredible ruling last week where the highest court in a failed state declared that indeed women do have an innie with all the squishy bits and men have a log pole with sticky white love goo, Stalin, who just a few weeks ago thought women could get prostate exams, finally came out with a thing called a coherent thought, and he now agrees that women can't pull off the perfect windmill after a hot shower. Well, that's amazing, Stalin. You're 62 years old and only now do you understand basic biology. Although, to be fair, I actually think he knew it the entire time. I bet the entirety of the Labour Party know that women can't teabag you after giving a salty surprise. But they are so full of cult ideology, none of them had the balls to come out and call a spade a spade. Because the last time that happened, Rosie Duffield got death threats from men in a dress. Yes, and they're all about love and tolerance, right? Okay then, that was interesting. The simulation is still trying to correct its errors because someone divided by zero and now it's a syntax error. What comes next then? Well, my god audience, we didn't listen. And now the entire failed state will be spit roasted into a crisp and everyone is going to die to death big time. Yes, as spring has arrived and the sun begins its trip towards the summer solstice, oh lordy lordy, that Mercury is going to rise faster than Starmer watching Brokeback Mountain. It will be hellfire, the likes we have never seen before, because in just a few days' time, the Soviet kingdom will see a heat wave of 22 degrees Celsius. And that is so hot, you may have to wear shorts and t-shirt. And for all of you Americans out there, that's like 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Lord Jeebus Crisp, what have we become? Let me guess, BBC Weather will have blood red across the map and the Met Office will issue a danger to life alert. It's that damn climate change again, isn't it? The thing where it's slightly warm and we all now have to go in our bunkers, but if it's slightly cool, no one says anything about it because it doesn't sell fear and you can't legislate taxes out of it either. Yes, heat wave horror indeed. But speaking of the hot weather, well, things are about to get a lot cooler here in the failed state, because as our farmland is blighted by solar panels and the country is purposely legislating food insecurity while dispossessing farmers of the land that they use to keep us fed, it turns out there wasn't much point putting down those solar farms in the first place. Because the absolute cult geniuses are going full Simpsons and will blow out the sun in the name of combating totally evil climate change. Yes, the Soviet Kingdom's government have approved plans to begin experimenting with cloud seeding to make them have a higher albedo effect and also inject sulfur aerosols into the stratosphere to reduce incoming radiation. You know, stopping sunlight, the things that plants need to make the oxygen that we breathe. Get the fuck out of here with this toilet brain cultist shite. All these clowns calling the current warming trend a climate crisis are either in it to make money through contracts or are just plain stupid. I mean, we're in one of the coldest periods on Earth since the Cambrian explosion 500 million years ago. The last interglacial period, known as Marine Isotope Stage 5e, or the Ipswichian interglacial period, named after this shithole of a town, it was about 2 degrees hotter than today, with sea levels 9 meters above what they are right now, with 100 parts per million less carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Hell, carbon dioxide was getting so low that just 20,000 years ago, it reached about 180 parts per million, which is just 30 parts per million away from biosphere collapse. And by accident, we've caused a global greening event by replacing the carbon dioxide that had been removed over a geological time period. It's a complete con. The Earth has been a lot hotter, with a lot more CO2 and less glacial ice, and a lot of animals for a long period of time have fucking loved it. The only reason the governments are pushing all of this is because you have to pay more taxes and they also own the companies that they are going to give the contracts to. Yes, keep building the windmills, the government thanks you. Like Ed Bacon Sandwich Miliband, the dumbass net zero creature in the UK who's going to spunk £20 billion of our money on a carbon capture scheme while everyone with a brain cell would just say, I don't know, mate. Why don't you just go plant some fucking trees instead? It'll be a lot cheaper and look nice. Embrace carbon dioxide. It is the world's life giver. Also, there is actually no evidence that CO2 causes warming periods. Usually, it's a trailing indicator as the dominant climate driver is in fact the Milankovic cycles. There is far too much involved in the climate sciences than one damn trace gas. Alright, that was quite a run. Glad those student loans finally paid off. What's next? The Pope died, and then Bethesda released a remastered version of Oblivion. What a week it has been, eh? Now, I ain't got much to say about the Pope, but he was the guy who, after a bunch of cartoonists got massacred by an Islamic extremist for drawing their prophet, blamed the cartoonist for it. That's that thing called victim blaming, isn't it? So there we are, not his greatest fan. But God Howard, on the other end, pulled down his pants and squeezed out something that the entire gaming community have been missing for quite a long time. A good game. But he had cheat mode on, so it was just a remastered old one. Now you may be thinking, where is the clown in that? Well, as the world united to enjoy the magic of the Elder Scrolls franchise, because Bethesda haven't released one for 14 years now, suddenly everybody noticed something when creating their character. What the fuck is body type 1 and body type 2? Well, ain't that a story? Because according to the creeps with weird hair colours, being a man or a woman is literally a hate crime these days. So to not offend the crybabies, who are in a minority of society, the gaming industry decided that it could all be reduced down to a body type rather than the term used for literally thousands upon thousands of years. What's wrong with male or female? Why are we entertaining the delusion? Where are the adults in the room? Well, pretty much it's got a simple answer. All these gaming companies are now owned by Microsoft, and Microsoft are retarded. So there we go. What more ESG DEI shite did you expect? But the story doesn't end there, as we need to introduce Nexus Mods, the website where people upload their mods to the games to make them bettlier, or do things like give everyone really big tits because why not? And when a nerd modded Oblivion to bring back the male or female choice instead of the body types, Nexus Mods straight up banned the modder for it. What? It's just like that time when Nexus Mods banned the Starfield mod where someone removed the pronoun option at the beginning of the game because again, we live in a clown world and the people are sick of this shite. Or how's about the time the modder removed the LGTV flags from Spider-Man? So Nexus banned him too, and once again, a meltdown ensued. I don't think they understand that the entire point of gaming is escapism and no one cares about the DEI in medieval high fantasy. And after people were big mad at the website, website whose sole function is to host user-created mods, they surprisingly actually caved this time, and so people can actually now use the mod again. Way to read the room, guys! This shite is dying to death big time, and it's about time all the companies realised that. But the best is still yet to come, because remember when a bunch of really rich people said, you know what poor people really want? They want to be depossessed of their belongings and live as a rent slave, and we'll all profit off it while virtue signalling like we have any idea what it's like to live in reality. And by 2030, we'll make sure everybody owns nothing and they will be happy. Well, Klaus Schwabb, the leader of the World Economic Forum, the Davos machine where all the world leaders go to discuss policies that not one of them will ever feel the repercussions of, has finally quit his job. No, how would I be lectured on climate change from a guy who flies the planet on a private jet? Will I ever get my Beyond Meat burger after his departure? Yeah, see you later, you suited up bullsack. And good luck with that investigation that they've just opened into potential corruption. And hopefully it'll result in criminal convictions, because in prison, he won't be the one penetrating the cabinets, because he will be the cabinet. But Bond villains aside, audience, do you like fish sticks? Do you like fish sticks in your mouth? Well, if you do, then you, sir, are a gay fish. Ha ha ha, what a great joke. But what if I told you that that South Park joke from 2009 was in fact true this entire time? And Kanye West is indeed a gay fish. Yeah, something I didn't have on my diarrhea bingo bucket card for this week is Kanye West coming out on X to tell the entire world that he used to gargle his cousin's salty mayonnaise in a completely unprompted confession. What the fuck is going on here? That is some full-on Alabama shite. And I literally don't know what I can add here to emphasize how badly this simulation is broken. The guy admitted to the entire world that he used to chow down on his cousin's windmilling meat pole, who is also now in prison for killing a bitch. But hey, now he's free to be a gay fish forever. Meanwhile, in an Easter far away, Joe Biden was blatantly photoshopped into an Easter photo, and it is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in the history of seeing. Who on this earth photoshopped that and thought it in any way looked good? Where did his legs go? Why does it look like he's standing? And why does it look like Visiting Angels are doing a commercial right now? Oh lordy, keep them coming though, Biden family. This shite is gold. Although the reality is Joe Biden was probably in the basement fast asleep. Anyway, that's pretty much all the clown I could fit into this one. And also next week there won't be a video because Daddy at RCW is doing pretty busy things in the real world. And I just won't get round to making a video. Big shout out to all my Patreon boys and guys. Every night I dream of us getting sent to gulags for committing hate crimes. Love you all very much, Ling.
Subscribe button.
Is always right.